What's going on, guys? Have another video today, some tabletop gameplay, filming with my friend Jackson on the left with his signature Charizard deck. I'm playing Tera Box on the right. So Jackson actually just released a Metafy guide on his Charizard deck, so if you want to learn more, you can go check that out. I'm actually going to give one away just to thank Jackson for coming onto the channel and playing these games with me. So if you want to enter, just in a comment, just put your favorite deck from this new format and just tell me that you want to be entered. Yeah, but otherwise, let's get into some gameplay. So, yeah, I'm going to play the Tera Box deck. I think this is probably one of the strongest decks. I had to open my proxy Ditto, so I've done a poor job editing that onto the screen. I think this matchup is similar to when you play against other matchups with evolution Pokemon. You want to really use that Wellspring aggressively to not only cripple your opponent's board, but give yourself 2 prizes. So I have a pretty strong start here, getting those triple Hoot-Hoots down, and then get that attachment on my Fan Rotom so I can just retreat to the Wellspring on the following turn if I want to use it. So really, really good start for me. And then now Jackson here, he's also playing the Noctowl engine in his Charizard deck, a little bit different than some traditional Charizard decks we've seen in the past. So it's going to be rocking Terapagos, but it still has Pidgeot, and it still has Dusknoir in the deck, which is super cool. And it has some tricks it can do with that Dusknoir, right? You can use Briar more easily, you can take big swing turns, you can get through Pikachu, potentially, Pikachu EX's ability. So, yeah. So Jackson's going to check his prizes real quick. So when we test, we just look at our prizes to save time, and so you guys can know what they are. But yeah, if you still need to practice prize checking, like I always say, do it in practice, because you play like you practice. So the Poffin, oh, you see they also play Poffins in his deck as well to help get those Charmanders. But it still plays a bunch of Nest Balls. So he's going to get the Fan Rotom and the Terapagos. One thing I do like about this version of Charizard is you don't really need Charizard turn 2 to attack. One of the weaknesses of Charizard is it doesn't scale super well at the start, like do a lot of damage. So Terapagos can kind of alleviate that at the start. Jackson is going to be playing from behind though this game, so Charizard will ramp and do a bunch of damage really fast. And a deck like Tera Box, besides Blood Moon, all my Pokemon have pretty much like no health for 2 prizes. So Charizard should be able to make quick work of them as soon as I take a couple of prizes. So yeah, so on this fan call, just going to get a couple of the Hoot-Hoots and a Noctowl so he can do some cool stuff next turn. Basically just anticipating a Torrential Pump coming out from me. And then just getting that Trap goes down if he needs to attack with it. Trap goes is also good at knocking out my 2 prize Pokemon. So if he anticipates a Wellspring coming, he would need like 7 bench Pokemon to take a knockout, which is very reasonable. I might even put Area 0 into play for him. And then he would really just need like a Poffin, some Nest Balls, some natural Pokemon draw, plus an attachment to get there. So that's why he's going to commit that fire to the Terapagos on this turn. So now my turn, I think I just pretty much want to get a Wellspring off if I can. Should be easy with this Noctowl in my hand. So you can see me going for that Wellspring right away. And then the Crispin, initially I think I'm going to go for Crispin. I think I might get a little bit creative after with my hand. Because I have an E-Switch, I think I realized, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't need to Crispin. I could maybe go for Research and just attach if I wanted to. So, yeah, I don't mind playing a Research to get my board more set up, because I could attack with Wellspring and I'm going to need some follow-up. So, yeah, you can see me here debating if I need to Crispin or not. So now I'm going to switch it. Obviously, I can't do this in a real tournament, but that's what testing is for, right? Discuss with my testing partner what the best play is. So I'm actually going to come up with this line where instead I'm going to grab Area 0. I have some more Pokemon in my hand, and I'm going to try and build like a really strong board. I'm going to play another Noctowl with Area 0, but with this Vessel plus the E-Switch in my hand, I can just make the Wellspring if I get the Sparkling Crystal. So I can use my other Noctowl to get that Sparkling Crystal, and then the Grass allows me to get a Teal Dance in as well, draw another card. So, yeah, so you can see that other Noctowl in my hand. So that's going to get the Crystal in the Area 0. We're going to play that E-Switch. We're going to attach return to the Wellspring. Doesn't really matter what type of energy I picked because I'm going to get the Crystal, so I just picked the Water for now. I guess the other energies in my deck are more useful if I draw them for the other attackers, so maybe that's better to leave them in the deck so I can draw them off Research. So yeah, I'm going to grab that Crystal, that Area 0, and I can get that Nest Ball. So my board's looking really strong. So one downside of the way I did play this is I did put Area 0 into play for Jackson, so that's one less card he's going to need in the future. So maybe I could have played this a bit slower and just gone for that Crispin play and then just basically said like, hey, you put Area 0 down for me. But I went this way. This is my first time playing the matchup. So could be a good future learning if it doesn't end up working out. So with this Nest Ball, I'm basically just trying to figure out who Jackson's attacking me with next turn. So with my Torrential Pump, I'm going to pick to knock out the Charmander. So that pretty much just leaves the Terapagos as the attacker. So I just decided to get a Clefairy because Clefairy can knock out the Terapagos fairly easily. If Jackson wants to knock me out, he's going to have 7 bench Pokemon. Which means the Clefairy only needs 11 bench Pokemon. I say only 11, but that means I only need 4 on my bench if I want to knock him out. And obviously I'm going to have that many, so. I also get the Fez down before that research, so now I'm kind of soft protected from Iono. If he wants to knock out my Wellspring, I get that Fez. I'll get 4 cards, plus draw for turn, so it's basically 8 I can look at. So yeah, I get that nice knockout there. On the Charmander, the reason I take Charmander instead of Hoot Hoot is because my deck actually doesn't have a great way to deal with Charizard besides the Teal Mask. And if Jackson's able to counter catch or knock out that Teal Mask, then I would be in trouble. I wouldn't have a good way to deal with it. So I decided it's best just take it off the board and go from there. So now on Jackson's turn, he is definitely looking to knock out my Wellspring. And then it sounds crazy, but he can set up to win next turn if he can get like a Dusknoir Briar play kind of going. So one nice thing for him is as soon as he attacks with like a Terapagos in the active, it's kind of hard for me to Wellspring again next turn and take 2 prizes because I'd have to get a boss as well. So if he benches just like a Duskull, for example, right, to set up for that play, if I just Torrential Pump the Terapagos in the active and take 1 prize off the Duskull, now my prize trade is going to be ruined because Jackson can just take 2 every single turn and win before me. So he's going to go for the Noctowl. He's going to get that draw with the Iono. So that's kind of one of the reasons I put Fez down. And then that Buddy Puff and just kind of replenish his bench. So there's where I'm saying, like, maybe I didn't need to put Area 0 down. If I could have played slower, that might have helped me. Because now I'm just kind of giving him the opportunity to get all this stuff down. He would have had to waste one of his Jewel Seeker cards on the Area 0. So yeah, Jackson here just deciding between the Hoot Hoot and the Pidgey. I like the Hoot Hoot grab more, I think. Because if his plan is to try and win next turn with, like, a Briar play, Noctowl is more useful than Pidgeot. So. And then between the Terapagos and the Charmander, like, you have 2 Pokemon that can potentially be Teras that you can use with the Briar. So, and you're gonna play the other Noctowl too to get even more set up. So the other Area is not that big of a deal. He could have just got it, but did make it a little easier, so he can grab 1 more card if he wants. So I think, yeah, I remember him and I discussing, like, do we really need to play this? Like, what are we picking? Like, we'd be picking like a way to get 1 more basic. And there's not really a good way to grab an energy. If we could grab an energy, maybe. But we'd have to Vessel whatever card we pick to get an energy for the Terapagos. So I think we just conclude that we'd rather just play Iono, just try and draw 1 basic plus an energy. Drawing a basic's really easy. There's lots of outs. There's Poffin, Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Pokemon itself. Energy, there's lots as well. And then he whiffs an energy, but we see the Nest Ball there. I think his Fez might be prized. I wasn't paying close enough attention when he showed our prizes. So I think him and I collectively decide, or I think I'd push him and be like, just take an energy from your deck, because this game is over if he doesn't attack this turn. So this is one thing I enjoy about testing with like friends or just in person, is like when someone whiffs, you can just do something like this, because if you play on live, like the game's kind of ruined. So I hope you guys are okay with us giving him an energy attachment for the sake of your entertainment. And just become a better game. So, yeah. So, because the odds of him whiffing there were fairly low. He had a lot of outs. So, also, if you're someone testing, like, you want to test against your opponent setting up and playing optimally. Like, in a real tournament, like, I know I would win this game if he whiffed an attack. But I'm not learning anything or getting any practice. So I'd rather my opponent, set up, do what they're trying to do, and then I can kind of learn from it. So, alright. So he's going to get that knockout. And his board is really strong. So, like, now for me, I definitely want to try and get a knockout if I can. My hand is actually fairly weak. I didn't draw an Ultra Ball or a Noctowl, so I'm going to have to kind of dig for that. My top 3 cards are energy, nice. Off this Nest Ball, I'm not sure what I need to grab. Like maybe Latios would be okay, just to have maneuverability. Mew, if I'm anticipating needing some protection from Iono later in the game, right? So I think I get Mew, because I'm basically just like, I'm going to Fez, hit Crispin, Ultra Ball, Noctowl, and then just attack with Clefairy. And then I'll have Mew as a pivot for next turn, and then kind of go from there. But I end up whiffing, actually, the Noctowl, so then I kind of have to come to a decision, like, what to do. I didn't whiff, I have Turo in my hand, but since I played Vessel last turn, I can't Noctowl for E-Switch Vessel and get this Psychic Energy for the Clefairy. So now it's, like, a pretty tough spot for me. I'm thinking what I can do. Something I probably want to attack with a 1-prizer. If I can attack with my Fan Rotom with a boss and take a prize, I can maybe skip the Briar turn, and if Jackson takes a 1-prize knockout, then it's kind of slow for him. So you can see me debating the Turo, like picking up like the Noctowl or something, but I just think that doesn't really work. I think I just have to kind of play a little aggressive here and take a prize. So I could take out the Duskull, right? Because that thing is threatening me. I could take out the Charmander, so he doesn't get a Charizard, but he still has Trapagos. I could take out Pidgey for the long haul. So I think I decided Pidgey, and my logic is like I can take out Duskull this turn, but then he can just like make a Pidgeot, and then like on the following turn, he can just like grab whatever he needs, and like he'll just play Stretcher next turn and put the Duskull right back down, right? So I'm gonna need some combo of Iono next turn if I want to win, because I'm probably gonna give up a 2-prize knockout here if he just gets Boss off of his Noctowl. So I could lose this turn technically if he gets the Dusknoir play, but I thought it was probably just worth the risk going for. Because yeah, if once Pidgeot comes down, like Iono doesn't really do much. So then if he was able to establish Pidgeot and Boss, I think the game is just over on the spot. So yeah, now if you're Jackson, if you have the combo, you want to do it, or you just like take a Boss, 2 prizes, and I think I'm just really on the back foot here. And I think Jackson realized he might have just had game without having to use Charizard. I think he's still going to use Charizard with like the Noctowl, but I think he wants to knock me out with Trapagos, do it fancy. So I think regardless of who I knocked out last turn, he could have gone for a play like this. Like obviously I would have had to knock out Duskull to avoid this, but I would still be in a losing position because I would still go 2 prizes down. And then he'd have like a Pidgeot in play. Like yeah, like he has Ultra Ball, Rare Candy, right? He would just get Pidgeot, make another like Noctowl, make Charizard Boss or Counter Catcher. And yeah, here he's just showing me his double candy, right? So regardless of what I did, I was kind of cooked last turn. So and he can Catcher one of the 2 prizers, Dusknoir one of my 1 prizers, and then Briar, and all 4 prizes get taken in one go. So that's the power of the Charizard deck. It definitely uses Briar better than any other deck. And he comes back from a turn 2 Torrential Pump in this game. Hey, hopefully you're enjoying the video. If you want to support me, consider checking out my Metafy group or my personal coaching. I have the link in the description below. I post all my deck lists in my Discord, and you can ask me questions. I also have weekly group classes, and I post things like puzzles and board states and meta-analysis. So the link is in the description below if you want to check it out. Otherwise, just enjoy the rest of the video. All right, we got game 2 here. I'm going to go first again. Start with my Proxy Ditto. I have a Ditto now. I got one from the back of the store after, but not for the video. So Jackson starts with Blood Moon this game, which is actually a little annoying because I can't Wellspring super easily because I would only take 1 prize. I mean, maybe I could still do it and then it gets stuck in the active, but then I'm just leaving the door open to Jackson getting to play Switch and then taking 2 prizes before me, and then the game kind of gets a little messy from there. So maybe I was thinking like I maybe need to take a Pikachu approach here for my first knockout. That's a little weaker than using the Wellspring to take out some of his support Pokemon. But he also has to deal with the ability that Pikachu has. So I just had Pikachu in my hand, so I just benched it with the Lightning to get that down. So like next turn if I get like the Crystal plus Attach, I don't even have to play Crispin. So Jackson here just has the Nest Ball. He can get the Fan Rotom, can get his ideal start, to be honest. So yeah, he's in good shape. So we're going to check his prizes out real quick. Got a Noctowl, one of the Charmanders. That's a little annoying. So, yeah. I think, yeah, my hand is like I have a Noctowl, so I'm pretty happy for next turn. I think both of us are going to get pretty much ideal turn 1 boards here. His hand's decent as well. He's got some basics. He can even play that Iono if he wants, and he can Iono my Noctowl away since he knows he has one in my hand. So that's always a really strong play against Noctowl decks, if you can turn 1 Iono when they they have Noctowl in their hand. So he's gonna play that Terra Orb to get that Terapagos. He's got that nice Alt Art. I think he has 2. Yeah, he has Charmander. I think he has 2 of them. Yeah. So he's really just getting a nice setup there without really having to play much Search, which is super nice for him. So yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind an Area 0 if he wants to make his bench a little bit bigger, since he's only gonna be able to get 1 Hoo-Hoo down otherwise. But we shall see. But I guess him putting down Area 0 also benefits me. It's really weird when you play these Tera decks. It's like you really want Area 0 because you want to just make your board as wide as possible so you can set up and get your support Pokemon. But the trade-off is you have to let your opponent use it as well without them having to burn like one of their Noctowl searches on it. So he's debating getting here a Fan Rotom, so I think that to me is, if I'm playing, that tells me that he has a Noctowl in his hand. He's probably just getting that so he can Ultra Ball it or Vessel or discard it basically with a card instead of having to discard something like a Noctowl. So, cool. And I think, yeah, that's just going to be his first turn. So I think I'm like trying to think here if I can pull off a Boss Wellspring. I think I'm a little short. I would need Crystal, Energy Switch, Stadium, Latios Retreat, and Boss. So that's a lot of cards. So I think I'm probably just going to have to settle for going for the Topaz Bolt. I mean, Topaz Bolt is still fine. I take 2 prizes. And Jackson can't one-shot my Pikachu, which is really nice because he doesn't have Duskull down. So I think, ideally for me, if I can get the Pikachu attack off and not bench a 2-prizer, I can ensure that at most Jackson takes 1 prize on his next turn. So to me, that seems like the way to go. So I'm going to get Iono because I think the rest of my hand was kind of bricky. So I need to draw some cards. I think I'm just committing to getting the Latios. I could have got Crispin maybe and then just retreated, and then I think my hand would have been dead on the follow-up turn. So, yeah, I decided to go for that. And then I mistakenly attach a water. I'm going to take it back in a sec because I realized I'm like, wait, that's not the right type. That's not Wellspring. I need to get the grass or the metal energy to use it. So I put down Area 0 because I had a Hoot in my hand. I'm like, you know what, let me get Latios. If I take 2 prizes this turn, I just need to keep up in the prize race. Go 2-2-2 and I'll win. So I felt comfortable putting it down here. And then I draw the grass and I get a way to get Latios. So pretty good. I don't have to burn another Noctowl. So I had a lot of outs. I had Ultra Ball, I had Noctowl as an out to get what I needed, or just drawing the cards like I did. So now I'm going to take 2 prizes and then just be in the lead here. Next turn, I'm just looking to, if he attacks with Terapagos, just use my own Terapagos or Pikachu again. If he attacks with like a Fan Rotom on one of my little guys, then I can try and go for a Wellspring. I would need some E-Switch action if that happens, but yeah, I feel pretty good. The only thing I would have liked is if I could have got a Teal Mask down with a Grass so that I can threaten the Charizard. Because Jackson only has 1 Hoot down, so he can't like for sure get a lot of things this turn. So yeah. So I think for Jackson here, he probably wants to like Charizard and like knock out my Latios with a counter catcher if he can, because I don't really have an easy way to knock out Charizard. So there's that Jacques. That's gonna be a really good card for him, getting the Charizard and the Noctowl, and then he's gonna be able to search it. You see, he's already moving those fire energies in the Charizard. Just getting ready to do that. And then if he could, he wants to get Duskull down to try and threaten me next turn. So I probably need to use a 2-prizer next turn or bench another one like a Fez. And then if he gets Duskull down, he can threaten the Briar play like he did in the first game. So he's going to get a lot of value here. He's going to get that Nest Ball. Can probably get like a Fez. We get that Poffin to get some more Hoots. Maybe get that Duskull down if we need it. So, yeah. Once that Area 0 is down, lots of power for him. And there's that Fez. So yeah, now he's got 7 on the bench. So his Terapagos can be hitting a lot the rest of the game. And that Fez just gives him the draw. And then his prize map is really just take 2 with Charizard and then maybe use Dusknoir, 5 2 prizer, and then Terapagos to use the Briar on the following turn. So here comes the Fez. He's definitely looking for counter catcher if he can get it. Or Prime Catcher, that one works as well. And now he can take 2 prizes, have a big Charizard in the active, and it's pretty annoying for me now to get the knockout. Because I would need Crispin, and then 2 more Grass, because I can only pick 1 Grass off Crispin. So I need like Crispin, Vessel, and I need a way to retreat, so I need Night Stretcher, because my Latios is going down. So I would need to recover it that way. So yeah, just 1 Noctowl basically just turns into such a strong board for him now. And if I don't respond to 2-prize knockout this turn, I am going to be in a bit of trouble. So I could also try and knock out that Fez or the Terapagos, but I would need a Boss's Orders plus that E-Switch play with my Teal Mask Ogerpon. Just double checking his prizes real quick. Alright, and then he's going to Ultra Ball. I'm not sure what he needs. Maybe one more basic. If he wants... Yeah, just another Hoot Hoot, so that next turn he can get double Noctowl. Hopefully he changes his bench. My tripod, I guess, the angle got messed up a little bit after I started filming, so that's why it's on a bit of a slant. But alright, he has one more Hoot Hoot. He'll move it now. So yeah, here on my turn, I think I want to do that boss play, or I want to do that Ogre Pawn play if I can. But my hand is fairly weak. I only have one Noctowl, so I can't make it happen. I don't have enough search. So I'm trying to come up with a prize map that'll work for me and give me a chance to win. So yeah, I was thinking, well, I have Ultra Ball, so wait, if I play Ultra Ball, can I get there too? If I go Noctowl 1 gets me Stretcher, Nest Ball for Ogre Pawn, Noctowl 2, Crispin Vessel. I think I was missing one of the pieces. Otherwise, I might have gone for it. I think, was I missing 1, 2? I have all my grass in there. Wait, could I have gone for it? Did I just like miss? I have an Ultra Ball in my hand. I have Stretcher in my hand too. I have not got there. Nest Ball. Oh, I think. Oh no, I remember why. Because I knew Jackson's hand was big, so if I went for the Ogre Pawn, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get Dusknoid and Briared, because there's a double Hoot Hoot on the board. So I was trying to come up with a way to play around that. And I think my solution I came up with is I'm going to punch the Charizard this turn. And then next turn I'm going to Wellspring, knock out Charizard and Duskull. Or I don't have to knock out Duskull, just Charizard and a 1 prize or go down to 1. I can skip Briar and I can block Dusknoir from going off. Because I just assumed if I don't disrupt Jackson this turn that I'm probably just going to lose to the Briar play. And then, like, if I don't bench any other 2 prizes, he can't one-shot the Pikachu. If he wants to knock out Pikachu, he has to pop the Dusknoir, give me a prize, and then he'll be at 2, and I could maybe try and, like, play Iono or something and win there. I think regardless of what I I was in a really tough spot. So, I mean, like, you can see here, like, he's going to get Noctowl, so you can assume I was just going to lose if I went for the Ogre Pawn play. Because, like, he doesn't even have to play Counter Catch or anything, so I would just have Ogre Pawn in the active, and he can just attack me with Terapagos, so maybe it was the right play. Was there? I'm trying to think if there was a way I could have maybe gotten the second Teal Mass down so I could play Iono with it, but I already played my Iono, so I don't have Disruption, so this is where it's going to get tough. He's going to play Iono on me now, because I think my hand I was holding a lot of stuff. I was holding the Stretcher to get the Latios for the pivot. I was holding Nest Ball if I wanted to get Fez, or the Wellspring like I was saying, and then had the Ultra Ball for the Noctowl. So this Iono is going to hurt me a lot. So he's kind of deciding where to put the Defiance Band here. I don't know if it matters that much. I would have maybe thrown it on Terapagos. Okay, yeah, he loses it to Terapagos. And I'm just going to play that Iono to disrupt me, and now, like, off my 4, I have to draw a really good hand, because I don't even have a Tera Pokemon, right? Anymore. So this is where the Charizard deck really shines, is like, it just uses Briar so well. So he's just going to retreat there, so we just move the damage to make it easier and then get rid of energy off the bench. And then, why did I draw a card? I think, oh, he probably just told me to attack. I just drew. So yeah, this is why the Charizard deck's really strong. Like, its use of Briar, like, even when it goes down 2 prizes, it can just come back really easily. And then Charizard's just such a tank, so. Yeah, and now I think on my turn, Jackson's Iono is really going to stick. I didn't draw a Noctowl or anything super strong, so I'm debating what to do here. If I just attach to the fan, or if I just attach to the active and retreat. I think I decide to just probably attach to the... I guess I can retreat, and then this still gives me a Tera Pokemon on the board, and then if I can pull off that Wellspring play next turn, like I said, I can win. But Jackson just has a boss. So now Jackson going down to 2, I don't really know how I can win, because he just has game on board with the Dusknoir plus knockout, literally whatever, because he has that Charizard that I can't take out easily. So I'm going to try and just boss and take out his Charizard, just so I can say I took 4 prizes this game. But then he can just pop that Dusknoir and then win. So really strong showing from the Charizard deck. It's really, really strong. I think maybe a little slept on in this format. If you want to learn more about it, go check out Jackson's guide. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed the games, and I'll catch you guys next time.